ready.
Sasha, the plays that were made down the stretch after they taken that 1-point lead, after hitting all those threes, just kind of, how did you guys kind of collect yourself and get yourself back in a position?
Yeah, we just they made some tough shots. That they made a few threes in a row, and Coach Drews obviously drew up a lot of great sets for them. They just kind of kept going the same thing where it's tough to guard, but just weathering that storm and making sure that we're continuously trying to get stops on the defensive side of the floor, and then offensively just continue to get good looks and trust our offense that we're gonna continue to get the ball where we want. And we were able to make some big plays down the stretch, and it helped us squeak one out today.
How familiar was the stuff that Penn State ran offensively to what Shrewsbury ran when he was with you guys?
Going through our breakdowns every day in practice, it wasn't necessarily the same plays, but there was kind of three categories of plays that we got really familiar with, going through this week, preparing for them. And so I think we were really well prepared for their things. Sometimes we would break down, and that's what Coach would talk to us about. Majority of the time that they were going to score is if we broke down. So we needed to really focus on what we were doing. But in reality, I don't think necessarily he ran a ton of our plays that we ran last year.
Trevion, just to battle through the foul trouble that you and Zach had to deal with, and then to come up with the 3-point play late, just what kind of lift did that give you guys?
Man, it just comes with staying in the game, not letting foul trouble affect your energy towards the game. Although me and Zach, we got in foul trouble. One thing that we talked about going in the locker room was just staying in the game. Being present in the game. Having energy. Because if you let it affect you, then you can't affect the game. So, that was our main focus. Just staying with it. Just trusting that our teammates would get stops, and it worked out in our favors.
Hey Mason, you guys didn't have a lot of margin for error offensively there, as they were obviously pretty hot shooting the ball. Just how hard was it? I mean, was there any pressure on you guys to execute there at the end, given what they were able to do offensively, and how were you able to sort of overcome that lack of margin for error, so to speak?
Absolutely. When the other team is hot, shooting in the paint, whatever, we really need to focus back on our defense. But our defense can be helped by executing on offense, and we emphasize that, like I said, every day in practice, and then even more so late in games, because majority of the times whenever we do execute, it's a bucket.
Sasha, it looked like they ran a box and one against you specifically there for a little bit. Is that something you've seen before, and what was your reaction when you first saw it?
I've never seen it in college against myself. Obviously, high school, some different teams did it, but yeah, we didn't really work on that. We didn't really expect it to them, or for them to do that. But we just try to get in our offense and get, do our basic motion and try to beat it that way. Box and ones are vulnerable sometimes when you could get the ball inside to our big guys and make good sharp cuts and everything like that. So I thought we did a good job of handling it whenever they went to it. It's something that I'm sure that they don't work on all the time. They just probably implemented it pretty recently. So we tried our best to exploit it, and I think Mason got a big three at the end from that. So yeah, it wasn't something we worked on. Didn't really expect it, but I thought we did a good job of handling it.
Sasha, it seemed like there was a better defensive energy today. What did you kind of see in terms of the progress from last game to this one defensively?
Yeah, just like sense of urgency and like realizing like we're trying to do some big things. We're trying to win a Big Ten championship. We're trying to get to the level that we want to be to put ourselves in a great position for March and everything like that. And what we've been doing has been kind of embarrassing and it isn't up to our standard of what we do here in this program. So we had a kind of reality check, and we had some great days of practice. We had some good film sessions. We learned a lot. It's not an ability thing. I think we all have the ability to guard on our team. It's just more of a lack of concentration, focus, and then when we put our minds to it, I think we could do some big things. So it's something that we're always working on in practice. We're always trying to get better, but it's more of a mindset than anything.
Was there any conversation just among the players this week to kind of get yourself straightened out?
Yeah,
whether a team meeting or something like that.
No, the world's not ending. I think that, you know, we obviously, you know, we talk to one another every single day. We're always with each other in the locker room, hanging out, whatever it is. And, you know, we talk about, you know, things that we need to work on, things in practice. We're always talking. We're always, you know, trying to get better. And like I said, it's one of those things that it's just it's a concentration thing. It's a mindset that, you know, we all need to have collectively. And sometimes when, you know, when we have a few people not doing it, that's what hurts us. So we just need to make sure we're all connected and always communicating on that side of the floor.
Hey Mason, those last few minutes of the first half, obviously you didn't have Zach or Trevion on the floor. You actually extended the lead, forced a bunch of turnovers, did a pretty good job offensively. What did you kind of learn about yourselves there in that situation? Because obviously you don't probably practice that way.
Coach always harps on, well, actually, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, he was talking about LeBron James and knowing every spot. And not to say that I know every spot, but I try to learn kind of every spot. So in those situations, it feels good to be prepared whenever our bigs are in foul trouble or in any situation. I asked Coach real quick to double check what I needed to do on the play that we drew up and we executed. I think we ended up missing the shot and I got the rebound. But I think everybody's done a pretty good job of doing their homework. Coach talks to us about it, treating our plays and our schemes and different things like a class, putting time into it every day, looking over it, and it feels good for that to pay off.
Did you do a particularly good job defensively with that lineup that you were able to force those turnovers, or was that kind of more on them?
I mean, I would say a little bit of both. You know, we knew that we were undersized in that lineup, so we had to pick up our fight and make things happen, really, just scrap. And I think we need more of that in the future. That'll help us win more games.
Did it help you in the second half when Trevion and Zach were on the bench, I think, for 5-6 minutes?
I wouldn't say it helped us. We definitely want them on the court at all times.
So just what you did at the end of the first half?
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to go into halftime on a good note so that we can come out in the second half and pick up on that big note. Momentum is huge in games like this, and so whenever we were able to convert on things like that, it feels good.
Hey Trey, how hard is it to get in a rhythm, but also stay in a rhythm when you're kind of coming in and out of the game because of fouls?
Man, it's tough. You know, when you're coming in and out, it's really tough. But you know, from a leader standpoint, you have to understand that you're not gonna always play the minutes you expect to play. You know, you have to trust that whoever comes in is gonna get the job done. And I think that's how we practice. So in a game, it's not a surprise. So, you know, when me and Zach are constantly rotating, or whether it's Caleb rotating or Mason, you know, we have to trust that those guys are going to come in and be effective and do their job. So, you know, it just depends on the game and the situation. But I just think, you know, from a leader standpoint, you know, that doesn't really matter. You know, coach will play whoever's productive. So.
Can you speak to the kind of better effort defensively and what kind of drove that, what kind of led that?
It just came with, you know, our film sessions, like Sasha mentioned. Our film sessions, you know, we've been talking a lot as a team. You know, we just kind of had that reality check. You know, we know we haven't been, you know, playing up to our standards in like the past couple games on the defensive end and offense as well. You know, like May said, when we run plays and we execute, we screen bodies, you know, we pretty much score every time, or we get something good out of it. But, man, it just comes with, you know, just having that leadership and, you know, just staying together. So.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.